Hello, I'm James Garner. The music we call country grew up along with something else. The radio.
How do you do, everybody? From Nashville, Tennessee, the heart of the Southland, Prince Albert, the world's most popular smoking tobacco, presents your Grand Ole Opry.
Radio gave voice to some of the biggest stars in this century of country. And this show in particular, the Grand Ole Opry, launched more careers and more legends than any of them. In time, what began as a simple homespun radio show would become an institution. Anyone who was anyone played there, and the result was pure magic.
They came from the hills and mountains, the valleys and the plains. Some were kind and gentle, and some too wild and tame.
A string of British hearts on an endless ball of twine.
It's the same old train, it's just a different time, just a different time.
You are a true worker.
Call us home.
It's a Saturday night in Music City.
Thank you very much.
Just like every other Saturday night for more than 70 years.
I've come to make good food and that old bottom's hard to beat. Ruddy, cruddy, nobody bothers.
Progress, get your history books.
Outside, folks are pouring in from all over.
Hi, everybody. We came from Sydney, Nebraska.
Gunnersville, Alabama.
Philadelphia.
Ohio, Cleveland.
Utah. Pennsylvania.
Ohio, Sandusky, Ohio.
In the dressing rooms, the pickers are picking.
It's just like, you know, if you're at a home or you know, you may hear Dad and a brother off in the living room playing. You may hear a sister and the other daughter playing, you know, somewhere else, you know. So it's kind of nice to go around and visit the dressing rooms, you know.
And in the hallways, old friends stop each other to say hi.
Hey, man, I enjoyed you all very much.
Take care.
Really a great job.
It is a ritual that repeats itself in Nashville every single Saturday. And it's almost as old as the music called country.
Are you ready for some country music tonight?
Good evening. Welcome to the Grand Ole Opry.
Ain't we having fun at the Grand Ole Opry tonight?
Mr. Vince Gill, everybody. Would you please welcome Kenny Chesney.
Mr. Garth Brooks.
It truly is kind of a mecca. To be a part of that tradition, I think, means a lot to people who really want to call themselves country music artists.
Grand Ole Opry, it's like the World Series of country music. Every time you come here, man, you better be ready to play because this is where it all comes to.
It's like your whole life flashes in front of your eyes and you're thinking, wow, this is the road that led from Columbia, South Carolina through Commerce, Georgia, and wound its way to Nashville. And here I am going out on that stage. And it was a pretty awesome feeling.
Michael Peterson, now.
I think that's everybody's dream. It's in country music field, especially to one day work on the Grand Ole Opry. I think when they get there, they think they really made it. And in fact, I think that's true.
The dream of the Opry starts in childhood.
Son of a gun, you have big fun on the bayou.
As a kid with an autograph book, I got Hank Williams' autograph, I got Minnie Pearl's, I got Rod Brasfield's, I got Hawkshaw Hawkins. Everybody on the Opry, I got their autograph in a book. I've known since I was very, very small, this is where I wanted to be, and this is what I wanted to do.
It's a dream that connects generations of country musicians to each other.
Here I am on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry, and here came Chet playing just like I'd heard him at 14. And I realized this is imaginary dream, actually living it out. It's, I think, one of the few times that's ever happened.
And the excitement of that dream, even when it is realized, stays alive.
When I come on the stage, there's always that butterflies, the excitement of going out, because these are new fans. So howdy, neighbor, howdy, come in and sit right down. And hoping they will like you and seeing if they will, it's just a very special thrill. And welcome to our Grand Ole Opry. Wow.
What happens on this night at the Opry may not seem remarkable, but it is, because it's been this way every single Saturday night for as long as anyone in Nashville can remember. And even more remarkable is that what happens on this night isn't all that much different than it was when the Opry started, all those years ago.
Handsome and known quite well by all. She's the combination of the Wabash Cannonball.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms.
Prince Albert, the National Joy Smoke presents your Grand Ole Opry.
There are three major things we listen to. We listen to the Joe Louis fights, and we listen to the fireside speeches of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and we listen to the Grand Ole Opry.
Roy, you're in the driver's seat. Let it go.
We didn't have electricity, but when our battery ran down, I'd walk around the hills in front of the back of our house and find somebody had it on, and I'd sneak down and sit out back of their house and listen to it. It's kind of like stealing the Grand Ole Opry.
I didn't have no record or nothing, but I just remember being little. It says, howdy, all your friends and neighbors. Join us in our Prince Albert show. Tune up your five-string banjo. Hang up your fiddle and your bow.
Roll out the rug on the floor. Light up your old top fire. Everyone will have some fun at the Grand Ole Opry tonight. I've got them weary, weary lonesome blues, feeling lonesome about to cry. The only one that I did love has gone another way.
Once upon a time in rural America, most homes had no phone, no television, no record player. What folks knew of the outside world came from the Farmer's Almanac, the Sears Roebuck catalog, and the radio, especially the radio.
That liniment is none other than Hamlin's Wizard Order.
Radio first came to Nashville in 1925 when the National Life Insurance Company opened WSM, a station with incredible reach.
The air was not as cluttered as it is today. People were picking up WSM in Nashville all the way up in Alaska.
WSM brought George D. Hay to Nashville to run the station. He was a former court reporter, which had earned him the nickname the Solemn Old Judge. He had also been the colorful announcer for WLS's National Barn Dance out of Chicago, the most popular country music show in the nation.
When George Hay came to town, he began to look around for ways in which he could carve out a niche for this station to make it unique and different.
That niche would be old-time music, fiddle music, country music.
The most dramatic event occurred, of course, in 1925 in late November when Hay invited Uncle Jimmy Thompson to come up and play a few fiddle tunes, mainly to fill time.
So people started hearing this fiddle player on the air and started coming down out of the hills and stuff. Let us be on. We can do that. We can play fiddle. We got a fiddle and a banjo. We got a fiddle and a banjo and a guitar.
One night, coming on the air after a classical music program, Hay coined a name for his show that would put it on the map.
He said to the audience, according to legend, you folks have been listening to Grand Opera here on WSM, and now we're going to treat you to some Grand Ole Opry.
That's not a bad idea, he thought to himself. And within a couple of weeks, he's starting to use the term Grand Ole Opry in the publicity that he's writing for the show. And of course, it's been Grand Ole Opry ever since.
The Grand Ole Opry House is packed, and we're ready to start the shindig.
Oh, the stars and the silver moon are shining.
The Grand Ole Opry became a mecca for amateur musicians from Middle Tennessee. Groups like the Fruit Jar Drinkers and the Possum Hunters and Uncle Dave Macon found a loyal following on the show. By the 1930s, Hay had assembled a professional full-time cast, bringing in performers like the Delmore Brothers, Zeke Clements, and DeFord Bailey, a harmonica player. The Saturday night barn dance style of WSM's Grand Ole Opry captured the imagination of small-town America.
We had this big stump that my dad had cut off, and it was just about a foot or so high. And I'd get up on there and pretend I was on the Grand Ole Opry, and I'd introduce my guest for that week, and then I'd get off the stump, go around and come back up as them, you know. Like I'd introduce Roy Acuff, say, here's my special guest tonight, Roy Acuff. I'd jump off the stump and go around and come back up from the great Atlantic
Ocean to the wide Pacific shore. From the Queen of
A lot of children in a lot of places were listening to the Opry's first huge star, Roy Acuff.
She's the combination on the Wabash Cannonball.
Roy Acuff was the first country singing superstar. Without Roy Acuff, there could very possibly would not be a country music as we know it today.
Roy Acuff was a frustrated ball player who had lost a chance to play for the Yankees after a case of sunstroke and a nervous breakdown. So he picked up a fiddle, joined a Tennessee medicine show, and became a singer and a showman. He soon formed his own band, and by 1938, Roy Acuff and his Smoky Mountain Boys were ready for the big time, the Grand Ole Opry.
Coming down from Knoxville to Nashville, him and the boys, you know, his band, they got to talking about what number they should do. And so Roy told them, he said, boys, he said, we're getting an awful lot of mail for the great speckled bird. And he said, maybe we should do that number.
What a beautiful thought I am thinking.
The song and the band were a smash. The Opry hired the Smoky Mountain Boys full-time. And together, Roy Acuff and the Grand Ole Opry became an institution.
The impact that Roy Acuff made on the Grand Ole Opry was pretty phenomenal. When he came in and started singing, and the way he sang a song and his delivery was something like people had never heard before.
I used to go to the opera and sit in the audience and watch him sing.
You walk up to a jukebox and slip a nickel in. You can bet your bottom dollar when the record starts to spin. You're a fiddle and a guitar with a honky-tonk sound. It's that hillbilly fever spreading all around.
His singing was I think, his great asset.
Well, I'll declare if it ain't Jane Russell. And it ain't. It's Cousin Minnie Pearl.
It was really a terrific show. It wasn't just people out there singing songs one after another. They had jokes and they had choreography. Roy Acuff was always known for having a really good stage show.
Take that night train to Memphis, take that night train to Memphis. You know how I'm longing to see you.
He was so sincere about what he was doing, about his fellow man and about people around him. Don't you think, Ozzy?
Yeah. But really they find no mistake. Oswald.
He'd make his voice cry like Oswald's guitar. He wanted these folks to know, when I'm singing this song, this is a part of me.
Oh, Lordy, I guess I'm never gonna lose the freight train blues.
I seen him stand at the mic and crying, tears rolled down his eyes and singing.
Yes, sir.
Because the audience was crying. He didn't make them cry.
Just like the blind man, I wandered alone.
Roy Acuff and the Grand Ole Opry were together through 6 decades. And he played the Opry right up until his death in 1992.
He lived it. He lived Opry all the time. That was his home. We was out on the road, just, let's get back to the Opry.
When he cometh descending from heaven on the clouds as he rides in his word.
Roy Acuff was the Opry's first great star, but there would be plenty more who would bring their music and their dreams to the stage at the Grand Ole Opry.
On the wings of that great speckled bird.
Make welcome, if you would, Garth Brooks.
This old highway's getting longer.
And her name is Patsy Cline.
Patsy Cline. How are you, Patsy? Nice to see you.
We'd like to welcome a newcomer to our Grand Ole Opry show, Miss Loretta Lynn.
My first Grand Ole Opry appearance was a day I will never forget.
Why, light now.
It was the biggest thrill of my life, but yet it was the most scared I've ever been.
Well, I was scared to death. Scared me to death.
Scared to death.
I was scared to death. Scared the hell out of me.
It's a wonder I didn't throw it up.
And I remember standing there, and I heard this pecking sound like... And I thought, what is that? And it was my knees knocking.
I'm standing there and thinking about all those people that I've looked up to and all that I've heard all my life, you know. And I'm fixing to walk out there in that same spot and sing.
Welcome, Miss Reba McEntire.
They walked up to us and said, Reba, we hate to do this to you on your very first time on the Grand Ole Opry, but Dolly Parton has just driven up, and she's making a guest appearance, so we're going to have to take away one of your songs. I said, hey, that's okay. That's all right. And I stood back as Dolly walked through, and she had on a black chiffon outfit, pantsuit, with rhinestone butterflies all over it. Well, we could have left right then. We saw Dolly Parton. That's all that mattered to me.
Why can't I forget the past? Start loving someone new instead of having sweet dreams about you.
Let's tell all these folks your name. You want to tell them? All right.
My name's Ricky Scraggs.
Ricky Scraggs. And you're how old?
7 years old.
7 years old.
I was nervous as I could be because I had sat out in the rows many, many times. I remembered the smells, and I remembered the sounds, and I remembered all the bright, colorful suits that the guys wore, all the nudie suits that were purple and red and orange and turquoise and blue and all these great colors. And those things I remember in my mind as a child, and I'll never forget those things.
Honey, are you mad at your
The most precious thing that ever happened at the Opry to me was the first place I ever played in Nashville.
Bird singing, bird singing in the Blue Ridge, Mountains calling me back to mine.
I really hadn't even joined Lester's band yet, but he gave me a spot and featured me. And back in those days, when something good would happen at the Opry, everybody would crowd in. I looked and saw Roy Acuff and his band, Tex Ritter, and the announcers, and I saw people taking cameras from behind. I was going, what? And Lester said, do some more. And I went, what? He said, what you just did? I'm a member of the Grand Ole Opry now. I'm proud of that. But that'll always be that moment.
To have a chance to play the Opry with Dottie West when I joined up with her, I was 17 when I first started playing with Dottie.
I have a young man that travels with me in my group, cross country. He's from Noblesville, Indiana, and I wanted him to sing with me today on this show, too.
I remember seeing Marty Robbins and Minnie Pearl walk by, and Lester Flatt and Scruggs, I think, were there. And, I mean, a whole bunch of people. I was flipping out, you know.
I remember when you said, with this ring I be wed.
It was just sort of a dream for me. After it was all over, I couldn't hardly believe that we did it, but I'll never forget that.
Love before was clean and pure.
My God, this is the Grand Ole Opry. It's like sitting down next to Johnny Carson or going into the White House. You know, that's something other people get to do.
Listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roll. As you ride.
How did I get here? How did I end up on this stage? How did I get on these airwaves?
Listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roll.
Is my cousins down in North Carolina listening? I hope they are, because they would be real proud that I was here on the Grand Ole Opry.
Traveling through the jungle, the Wabash Cannonball.
I did Carnegie Hall, got a standing ovation at Carnegie Hall, and that wasn't as big to me as walking on that stage of the Opry.
Of country music. James Garner looks back at bluegrass and western swing. All new Century of Country. Next Wednesday at 8 Eastern, only on TNN, America's Country Home.
And I used to go.
The Grand Ole Opry had many homes in its early years, and it outgrew them all. But in 1943, it moved into Nashville's biggest hall, the Ryman Auditorium. The Ryman had been built decades earlier for religious revival. But once the Opry moved in, the Ryman became the mother church of country music, and the golden age of the Opry began.
Why can't he be?
Here's the fabulous Johnny Cash.
Now I taught the weeping willow how to cry.
You better, I didn't mean to be unkind.
Every week, the show featured country music's biggest stars singing their latest hits.
Candy kisses.
So shovel the coal, let this rattle or roll and keep moving me on. You are the one, you're the one in my heart, you're my darling, my life's greatest friend.
And on summer Saturdays at the Ryman, while the music sizzled, the artists cooked, and the crowd baked.
No air conditioning. Man, and in July and August, I mean, it was like you'd get dizzy from the fans on the, it looked like an ocean out there, everybody waving their fan, trying to keep cool.
Fans, 2 4/4. Opry's not air conditioned, you're liable to sweat to death.
On Saturday evenings and Saturday nights, just sweat, just sweat roll off of you real heavy. You couldn't keep your clothes dry, could you?
No, sir.
The backstage was miserable. There were very few dressing rooms back there, and people were tripping all over each other just to get around.
How sweet it is.
You go backstage back there at the Ryman Auditorium and see the confusion back there and what was going on, and you say, how in the world does this show ever go on? I mean, you got one group right over in this corner over there playing, rehearsing song, one over here, somebody else over there, they're laughing and telling jokes, and no telling what, you know, what's going on back there. And yet they keep going and go out there and do a song, come back out, And you say, well, out of all this confusion, this show comes off.
I'm walking the floor over you.
The show wasn't confined to the Ryman. Artists waited their turn to play the Opry at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, just a short stumble away.
You could go right out of the back of the Ryman Auditorium and go into the back of Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, and you could suds up between sets.
We all hung out there till it was time to go on stage, or else when we got finished, we'd all hang out there and meet a lot of the other artists and songwriters and what have you, because we was always full of fire and vinegar, you know, back in those days, and looking for songs at the same time, you know, and we'd just sneak over there, you know, and meet with all the people, and it was a lot of fun. It was like a little gathering, a little party to us, you know.
Porter Wagoner!
More than the beer, though, what kept the evening going was the music.
Well, I can't forget, I still remember yet, the day my daddy looked at me and cried.
Oh, the men I meet, they warm and friendly, like the one in Hope, Virginia.
It was competitive, and everybody's trying to do his best because we were all trying to do the same thing. But it was like a big family, too. After you get to know everybody was nice people.
Blue Ridge Mountain boy.
The Ryman has a lot of memories. It has a lot of voices in those walls. It's, I think, with a great deal of appropriateness that it's called the Mother Church of Country Music. It really has an almost hollowed ground to it.
Hallowed ground because of all the legends who showed up. Legends like Hank Williams.
He was the hottest thing in the United States, so he went to the Opry.
Bill Monroe.
He was one of the leading Opry stars in the 1940s, in the company of people like Red Foley, Roy Acuff, and Ernest Tubb.
Even Elvis Presley took a shot at the Opry.
His main goal was to be a regular on Grand Ole Opry. And when he couldn't make that, that broke his heart.
Of course, one of the biggest legends of all didn't carry a guitar and couldn't carry a tune. Yet she would star on the Opry for half a century and become everyone's country cousin.
You're watching 20th Century Hitmakers Week on TNN.
The one and only cousin, Minnie Pearl.
See, this year Western Outfit, now Carl Smith give me these boots,
Yeah.
Tex Ritter give me this hat,
Yeah.
Gene Autry give me these guns,
Is that
but these teeth, they're my own.
She wasn't much with a song.
You can have my coffee, you can have my tea, but just you let my fella be, I'm jealous.
And her dancing spoke for itself.
Duplicate this if you dare.
Tell it, Minnie.
Hot dog,
She wasn't exactly a looker.
My figure's my fortune. I've just got my money invested in the wrong places.
No matter how hard she tried.
I'm just in my early 20s, and all girls in their early 20s are shy.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. You're shy, honey. You're shy about 15 years.
But Minnie Pearl became the Grand Ole Opry's most enduring star.
Every now and then, God sends something so bright, so cheerful, and so fast to the earth, we can only determine it as a quasar. And Minnie was simply a quasar to me. She really was that country cousin that came in, you know, and just made things better. The minute you saw her, things got better.
She was also one of the first country acts to really play upon the stereotype and to use it. Well, Minnie Pearl realized that she was probably going to be stereotyped anyway, so let's roll with it and play with it.
I asked Elmer how they dance them hula dances, and he told me. He says all you do to dance the hula dances is you tie a bunch of hay around your waist.
Hey.
And a bunch of oats around your neck.
Oats?
And then just rotate the crop.
Minnie Pearl's background wasn't exactly country. Her name was Sarah Ophelia Colley, and she was born in 1912 in Centerville, Tennessee, the daughter of a successful businessman and a proper Southern belle. She was educated in the arts and even attended finishing school, and she knew next to nothing about country music. After graduation, Colley taught drama, dance, and piano in Centerville. She also played in musical comedies throughout the South, gradually picking up the raw material for a character she would call Minnie Pearl.
Howdy! I'm just so proud to be.
Who was Minnie Pearl? She was pure hokum with a gingham dress, cotton stockings, and a straw hat complete with its dangling $1.98 price tag. She brought the news from the make-believe town of Grinder's Switch.
Steve Jones's barn caught on fire the other day, and ordinarily it'd have burned out before noon, but the fire department kept it burning all day long. Ain't that fine?
She invented Grinder's Switch. This was a place where people were always happy. And she had a number of characters that she used, Uncle Nabob and Aunt Brosie.
Ernest, I'll tell you, though, I'm kind of worried. I left my Uncle Nabob at home, and he had his down in the back, you know.
Oh, sure
And
enough.
Dr. Payne up at Grinder's Switch told him for them to rub his back, Aunt Ambrosie, to rub his back with alcohol, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm awful worried about Uncle Nabob.
Well, Minnie, what's the matter? You mean you're worried to think maybe you might be overcome with the fumes or something?
No, I'm feared the darn fool's going to break his neck trying to lick it off.
But Minnie Pearl was an unknown when she made her Grand Ole Opry debut one night in 1940. Opry management put her on late in the evening, worried the show's primetime audience wasn't ready for her.
When she was about to go out on the stage for the Opry the first time, Judge Hayes said, "You nervous, aren't you, honey?" She said, "Yes, sir, I am." He said, "Just go out there and love them, and they'll love you back."
I says, Izzy, why can't you be romantical? You ain't never drunk champagne out of my slipper. He says, no, I can't do that, 'cause Mammy won't never let me drink over 2 quarts at a time.
The audience loved her so much that later that year, Minnie Pearl became a regular and joined forces with fellow comic Rod Brasby.
I think her humor was always kind, and a lot of times it made fun of her.
Rodney, it may not show, but love has kicked me in the face.
Yeah, Minnie, it shows.
The reason for Minnie Pearl's success was simple. She understood exactly what the Grand Ole Opry meant.
The Opry means Saturday night and taking a bath and getting ready for Sunday school. And it means being at home where everything's warm and secure. And over the years, we have had more and more this need for security in a world that seems to have gone slightly mad. And the Opry and country music brings all that back, see.
Cousin Minnie
For a lot of folks, Minnie Pearl meant the Opry. After all, she played 50 years of Opry Saturday nights.
I wanted to say tonight that it's an exciting night for all of us. It's a night of change, but it's good change.
And of course, she was there on one of the Opry's most memorable occasions, the last show at the Rhine.
Will a circle be unbroken?
But she would help bring the Opry to a brand new home and into a new era for country music.
Before you take another step. There's something you should know.
In 1974, with the Ryman getting older and even more cramped, the Opry was ready to move into a new home.
I think the Ryman is what it is. I think it is a wonderful place with history that should be preserved. But as country music grew, that place only seats about 800 people or 1,000 people, whatever it is.
And there'll be no mansion waiting on the hill.
So as the art form grows, the facility has to grow.
And there'll be no fancy clothes for you to wear.
Oddly enough, there were many artists who thought when we moved to the Grand Ole Opry House at Opryland that we would lose that flavor.
See the train coming around the bend.
I was one of those holdouts. I wanted them to restore the Ryman and put it together and make it never fall apart and keep the Grand Ole Opry there forever with WSM. Well, you know, I'm one of those old traditionists that hated change.
I said, hell, I'm thrilled to get out of here, man. All I'm leaving down here is a bunch of sweat that I've went through the summertime, sweating out 2 or 3 shirts every Saturday night to entertain people in this place that's so hot and so uncomfortable. I said, man, the button shoes days are over. Hell, we deserve something better than this.
The Grand Ole Opry opened its new home on March 15, 1974. Even by Opry standards, it was a night to remember.
We had the president with us, yeah. Richard Nixon. He done the yo-yo trick.
Now jerky back.
And he played the piano. He done everything.
I'll stay here and try to learn how to use the yo-yo. You'll go up and be president, bro.
Memories of the Ryman run deep. They're even embedded in the floor of the new Opry House.
There's that circle of wood in the floor that's from the Ryman that makes you, when you stand on it, you feel like you're Dorothy, you know, standing there on the edge of the yellow brick road. I mean, it is really special.
Well, are you nervous?
Well, absolutely, but I think more excited than nervous, because, I mean, look, we're standing on this circle.
It was really, I think, a wonderful idea to take a piece of the Ryman stage and bring it out to the Opry House and put it center stage so that everyone can stand on that spot. And it really plays to the sense of history that is so important to the Grand Ole Opry.
Alan Jackson!
That history is what keeps fans coming to the Opry. But today, an artist doesn't need the Opry to become a star.
It used to be that to be a big hit in the music business, in the country music, you had to be a member of the Grand Ole Opry. Well, that all changed when we started making hit records.
And on the land his daddy gave him, foundation underway.
It's not considered as much a part of the overall country music industry as it was, and which is very, very unfortunate. I hope there will always be a Grand Ole Opry. I hope that the younger artists that sell the records and the concert tickets will always go by there every Saturday night once in a while and play it.
Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Is he here? Did he really show up? He's here. The one and only Clint Black. Hey, boy.
Of course, the Opry is still the place where anything can happen.
The folks here at the Grand Ole Opry would like to invite you to be our newest member of the Grand Ole Opry.
What do you think I come up with? Yeah, Vince Gill.
Oh, little girl of mine in Tennessee, I know she's waiting there for me.
To really understand the Grand Ole Opry and to appreciate it, you have to come and see it in person. If you're a country music fan, you belong here. It is simply the greatest thing that ever happened to country music. I think we all owe the Grand Ole Opry a great debt of gratitude for making this industry what it is.
Lord, Dick Bottom, let go of my hand.
Nashville, Tennessee could very possibly still be a sleepy little town on the Cumberland River without the Grand Ole Opry.
Hey, there's a girl at home who loves me. Now she won't understand. Lord, Dick Bottom, let go of my hand. Don't get on, get on.
Opry ball or me.
The Opry is much more than a stage. It's a living theater where people still fall in love with the music and sometimes each other. Many things have changed over the years, but the spirit is the same. A spirit of community, tradition, and joy. Whether it's Uncle Dave Macon plucking his banjo or Garth Brooks stomping the floorboards, the Opry is home. Home for a family